Hello, arm wrestling fans. I have a question for you. What is the common thing between these great arm wrestlers? John Brzenk, Evgeny Prudnik, Levan Vitaly Laletin, Gennady Kvikvinia. What is the common thing? Think about it. I can tell you the answer is very easy. In some stage of their great arm wrestling career, they all got defeat on a super match or at the Worlds from my next guest. Please enjoy the interview with Krasimir Kostadinov. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and enjoy this interview. Bye. Okay, arm wrestling friends, here we go. We are running, and I have a special guest today, Krasimir Kostadinov. The Krasi, you did it again. You are again world champion. Which title is that? 5, 6? I forgot it. Please help me here.
It's my 8th year which I am world champion.
8-time world champion. Okay, how do you feel? You go to the world championship. You have some mixed feelings about that. You want to test yourself again, and how do you feel now back home? Couple of days are gone. How do you feel?
I feel great. I had a lot of questions in my head before to go there, because as most of the people know, I had some tough matches with my right arm. I lost 5 matches in a row maybe, so definitely had a lot of questions in my head. What's happening with me if I'm doing something wrong. And actually, when I went to the Worlds, I had more expectations for my left. I was thinking that I would do better with left because my left was healthy. I didn't compete for half year maybe with left, and I thought that I will do better with left. But the last 2 weeks, I was training with Bozhidar, Sasho, and Georgi Tsvetkov. And during these 2 weeks, I was performing better with right. That was really surprising for me, because after my match with Matt Mask, my elbow was hurt a little bit. I had some shoulder issues as well. And I thought that I will not be able to recover fully for the Worlds. And that's why in my mind it was okay. You give your best with left and don't care, just try with right. This was my mental set before the Worlds. But it was strange that I lost with left and got first with right. So I'm very, very happy with the result. I always care more for my right. Just I thought that I couldn't do it with right, but hopefully I did it.
You did it, and the 100 kg was one of the toughest classes in this world championship. We normally know world championship is the highest level for the tested events, but sometimes some classes are a little bit more difficult than other. And in this year, the 100 kg was, in my opinion, one of the toughest classes, and you were able to defeat 2-time the Ukrainian guy in the final, which was a very spectacular defeat, which we all enjoy and were happy. Krasi, so you, Božu, and Georgi Tsikov, so you make some kind of training camp 2 weeks before.
Yes, actually the last, not the previous, let's say from 20 to 14 days before the competitions. I mean, we had about 10, 12, 14 days for rest. But before that, we were training about a week together. Me, Sasha, Georgi, 4 of us, and we all got gold medals.
Yeah. Okay, I think there is a lot of value in these training camps before the tournament. Competitors on the highest level train each other. You know each other from so long time. That brings me to my question. You have so much experience. You pull so many famous people. You are competing in the super match format, and you are winning. European World Championship, the feeling of the satisfaction of getting a world title and winning a tough super match, is it make it different in your mind? Are you more happy when you got one or other wins?
I don't think so, actually. Doesn't matter if it's tournament or super match. If you win, you feel great. So I don't have any difference. I don't think
you
there's
didn't note any difference.
no, in my mind, there's no such a difference.
Okay. I see. Let's go back into the beginning of your career. If I remember correctly, your first medal. Maybe I'm wrong, but let's see. Your first medal at the Worlds was 2007 in Veliko Trnovo.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
In men class.
In men class.
Junior class the year before in Manchester, I was second at the Worlds.
How old you were starting with arm wrestling?
I started 17, and
with 17.
2 years later, I got third at the Worlds in men class.
I remember you have a so tough match inside against the Russian guy. I forgot his name, but it was in the semi-final for the battle for the medal, and you.
Andrei Kruglov.
Yeah,
was his name. Is his name.
Yeah, it was great. So you at that point you were working out with mostly at the gym with irons. Is that correct?
Yes, but not in the gym. When we say gym, most of the people think bench press, deadlift. No, I was just training specific arm wrestling movements.
So wrist curls, biceps curls, special lifts.
Side pressure, yeah, pronation.
And there is a big transition in your career after meeting the most famous Bulgarian coach, Ivan Abadjiev.
That's correct.
When that did happen? Which year?
2011. It was, I think, October 2011. And after we met, I started actually the first time we met, and I didn't understand exactly what he was trying to tell me.
Can you tell me more about this meeting, because that has a big impact in your career? How did you find the famous coach? Unfortunately, he passed away for a couple of years, but you have this unique opportunity to meet him. Who support you? How did you find him? How it's happened, and how was the feeling to meet him? And tell me more. I would like to know how that happened.
A friend of mine gave me his contact. I called him in his house and I said, hello, I'm Krasimir. I'm competing in arm wrestling. I'm so big fan of yours and would really love to meet you. So you can explain to me some of your thinking about the weightlifting and the way your system is actually. And he said, okay, you are free to come. and he invited me in his house. I went there. We talked about 2 hours. He was explaining me what is happening in the body when you're training. But after 2 hours of explaining, and he was explaining um, some things that are not so easy to understand, and I understood
his science, his knowledge in science, in biophysics are very, very high. I saw some lecture from him. It's not you need quite good knowledge on this science. Yeah.
After this first meeting, I understood him wrong. I started to train many exercises, arm wrestling specific exercises, but many of them. Pull-ups, a few ways of side pressure, a few ways of back pressure, just too many exercises. And in the end of the day, it turned out to not be that good for me. It was not working that good. And a year later, I met him again. I went to his house one more time. And then I realized that I don't need all of that exercises. I just need 3-4 of them, which are working. And that's it. Just concentrate on the most important things. Or if it's possible, just to leave everything. And this is the moment, 2012. Maybe it was the spring or the summer of 2012, when I stopped lifting weights. I started just pulling on the table. And maybe 2 months or 3 months before the Worlds in Brazil, I was in my town and I was just pulling on the table. There was one guy who was coming there to hold me with 2 hands, Turkay Recep, which I want to say big thank you, Turkay.
Thank you also from my side supporting the champ. Yeah.
He was not training. He was coming to the gym just to hold me with 2 hands and to make my preparation good. So I was training 3 times a day, just arm wrestling specific movement on the table. I was just going forward, wrist curling and shoulder commitment, and he with 2 hands was taking my wrist. This is all I was doing for at least 2 months. Every day, 3 times a day, just wrist curl and shoulder commitment, and he was taking my wrist. And this is the way how I stopped and beat Arsen Liliev.
Yeah, Arsen Liliev, this win over Arsen Liliev. Maybe I would like to add 2 things for the audience.
Let me finish with that one. And since then, until 2019, that's about 7 years, 90% of my training was arm wrestling. Just arm wrestling specifics from time to time, but 90 to 99% just arm wrestling. And many people say, oh, Krasi was on juice before, he had so much more muscles before.
No.
Guys, before I was lifting a lot of weights, I was training a lot of gym. And during the years, some of the muscles are disappearing because I just stopped doing exercises.
And you was in your 20s, now you're in your 30s.
Yes.
The body of natural athlete is changing, guys. But I would like to add something to that, what you say. Maybe for the people who are not informed with the main idea behind Ivan Abadjiev training systems, he's forcing he's putting the body in high stress, and over this high stress the body should adapt. And if you bring this stress over the table pulling or exercises which are very, very close to the arm wrestling, the response of the body should be with better tendons, joints who are capable to take this pressure. the body adapts. That's the very easy explain the theory. It's more difficult, but very easy and explained. And Arsène Liliev, guys, you have to understand. 2012, Arsène Liliev was absolutely killing everybody. He was unstoppable, and Krasi, to be able to beat him in his weight, they meet each other. Which weight category? It was 110 or 100? 100 again. You stop him 2 times. He thought he couldn't pin you, and this training that you did with your friend seems to work very, very well.
True.
And back to the critique, the people who are suspicious. Again, working with in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, and if you are natural, your body change. You're not so ripped. You're not everybody. If you're natural, that's the way how it's happening. Krasi, did you see some difference how your body respond on this, on your training method at the beginning and now?
Just wanted to add something about Ivan Abadjiev. He was saying, no stress, no progress. This was his thing. It's not possible to progress if you don't you're putting under stress. You should go out of your comfort zone. This is the way to achieve something more. So, about the training before and now, yeah, it's true that before 10 years and now I need more time to recover. If I pull with somebody that is equal or almost equal to me, I should be very careful, because the real arm wrestling, not training some movement, but real arm wrestling pulling, is very dangerous now. And if you are 20 or teenager, you can afford to train often with almost equal opponent. But right now, if I do it, I should be very, very careful and not and leave my ego out of the gym, because if you go and try to win all the time, most likely it's not going to finish well. So you should be very careful on the table, because pulling with an equal opponent is very dangerous. And when you are younger, it's not that dangerous. But after 25, the recovery process is slower, and definitely you need to be very careful what you are doing on the table.
Okay, this is very interesting. So you're working out 3 times per day, and the intensity, how high is the intensity of this workout?
For example, lately I'm training about an hour when I wake up. I train here on my terrace.
Mm-hmm.
I do about 1 hour, let's say, biceps and side pressure. Biceps with dumbbell and side pressure with my bands. And after it, I go to the gym, 2 hours arm wrestling, come back home, eat, rest, and in the evening again 2 hours arm wrestling. It's about 5 hours a day training. This was my preparation this year. Intensity, well, I do set, which is usually 1 to 3 reps. I rest 3 minutes and again set. 3 minutes rest between the sets. And the repetitions are usually from 1 to 3.
Do you try over the weeks to add more weight on your dumbbells, or to bring your sparring partner to give you more resistance? Do you trying to go up with slowly up?
Of course, with every training I'm trying.
Okay, seems that. Okay, sorry. Can you repeat that, because I think the internet connections.
Every training I'm trying to add weight. If I'm stronger than the previous training, I add weight. Just you're not stronger every training, so you train with your possibilities for that day. Not possibilities, with the strength that you have for that day.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And
Krasi.
I want to explain something different. Let's say it's Monday. Monday, your first training, you're here. And the second training, you're here. The third training here. Tuesday, you're even here. And the next training again here. Wednesday, again here. You train under your max, but that's totally fine. If you're giving 100% effort, that's totally fine. The people think that they're overtraining when they cannot reach the max, but don't worry, that's totally fine. And after that, after 3-4 days, you will start to go up again. And when you rest one day, you will go one step over your maximum. This is something that people don't understand. They think that you should be able to lift your maximum weight on every training. No, you don't need to do that.
So you completely disagree that there is something like overtraining, that the nerve system is going overload with this max effort and high intensity that you're using 3 times per day?
If you are not hurt, if you are just tired, don't worry, continue training.
We have to say that your method, which is inspired by Ivan Abadjiev, is you. There are a lot of successful athletes in Bulgarian team using your method. There is no big secret that Jordan Tsonev work similar. Even Božu is working very intense, and the whole team from CSKA, Yonchev,
And
Dimitrina, of course, Dimitrina with her working ethics, working like crazy. That brings results. We have a there is a proof that you can deny that this method is working. Do you think, Krasi, that this method is successful only for people who are in the young age, or you can start? Let's say we have a sport is getting popular, and let's see you're adding new people to the sport who are in the 40s, in the 30s. If they start now, do you think that this is the right system to start with arm wrestling?
I think that this is the right system. This is the better system. I mean, you can reach high level with this method or with weights as well. But if you compare the weights and this method, I believe this is the better one. Just when you are older and you start to train like this, you have more pain than the weights when you're lifting weights, but that's normal, and you should just be more careful when you're hurt. This is the thing that should be mentioned. Mm-hmm. When you have pain that is consistent on every training, you should leave that area to rest and heal.
Okay, very interesting. So you're pushing that. Do you have a rest day in between, in the middle of the week? Let's say you start Monday, Tuesday.
Yes, usually we rest one day in the week, and that day I'm still training. once or twice, but just let's say 20 minutes, 2 times. I trained 2 times that day, but 2 times 15, 20 minutes with very light weight, just for blood flow.
Just for blood flow. Okay. Krasi, maybe you and Cvetan Grzewski, you're both person who built a lot of young champions. I know for a lot of kids who are starting in your club in Tutrakan and succeed in the sport, or my podcast is Champions DNA. You have a lot of experience. You're a great champion, and you raised a lot of your young talent. What is for you? How do you consider the champion's DNA? It is a mentality. It is genetic. What is for you? What makes a champion or real champ?
I have said this many times. For me, the champion's DNA is your heart and your mind. If you can combine your heart with your mind, your body will follow them.
Wow.
This is what I believe. Your body will go wherever your heart and mind say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you can believe it, you can achieve it.
And you have also to put the work, to have the work ethic to go every day. I don't know if the people should try the amount of work that you're putting to understand. It's not every time easy. It's easy to see the people with the medals, but the amount of work
never easy. It's never easy.
Behind is ridiculous. Krasi, I have to tell you something. I'm a little bit mad at you.
Yeah, why?
Because you invented the Krasi Pully, and nowadays there's so many powerful people who are blasting to the side with the flop wrist, with inside, and crushing my top row. Why you should bring that? Now is everybody strong inside, everybody's having the pulley, they're getting stronger, and it's difficult for me, skinny guys with the technique, to get successful. Why did you do that?
You should train your side pressure as well. Develop your side pressure.
Yeah, I will. I'm really happy, and here you can see it's here, the Krasi pulley.
Nice.
I enjoy it really. What a great machine. I think how did you find? I think you was disappointed that you couldn't find so much so stronger partner, and how that happened?
Just 2019, I think, in the beginning. I don't know why. Maybe I didn't have strong partners exact on that time actually, and it was the beginning of 2019. Yeah, the beginning of 2019, because at the end of 2018, at Zloty 2, I was third with right. Prudnik and Kuchak beat me that time. I won left, but got third with right. And I was disappointed with the results because whole year I was training with Jordan Tsonev. And I didn't find good results. But now, after the time passed, I can understand that just it was my fault, because when I was pulling with Jordan, I was not able to leave my ego out of the gym. I was trying to beat him on the trainings, and because he's younger than me, he was able to recover faster. And because of that, I was putting too much stress on my arm, and I was not able to recover. And I was getting hurt consistently. Not just tired, I was just getting hurt consistently.
This is maybe very important to our previous conversation about the methodics. So if you go over some level, you're getting hurt and you're not recovering for the next training. So you don't have to go behind this level.
Yeah, the thing that this red line is when you get hurt. Yeah, because if you're hurt, then you should go some different area on that next training, not to go at that hurt area again. Because that too much damage. And in the beginning of 2019, I decided to try to train with weights again. And on the market, there were some pulleys, which I think were not good enough, and the price was very high. And I went to my neighbor at my village and spoke with him. He's very good in engineering. And with him together, we invented this thing. I'm very thankful to him. Mitko, Komshu, благодаря. And when this thing was invented, I was like, why don't I try to sell this? Because I think I can sell it for a reasonable price and the people can use it, and this will help to many people.
It does. It helps to many people. It's absolutely. I can only recommend it. We have it in our club. Everybody has it. We are developing. We are getting stronger, inside, outside. It's really great piece of. You see that someone with a lot of arm wrestling experience were involved in the construction because you change the angles.
Yes. And the best thing about this pulley over most of the pulleys on the market is that it's very light and you can train wherever you want. You can put it in your car. If you have table that is detachable, put the table and the pulley in the car with some weights and go out at the picnic, in the forest, at the river, and train wherever you want. And I think this is so nice.
How long is the biggest break that you take from training and working out? How many days in a row do you have without touching anything? Because we have a conversation at the Worlds, and you told me that you're pulling with taking antibiotic, getting sick, no problem, still working out, and that shocks me a little bit.
I'm used to train every day. If not arm wrestling, I'm doing some walks or cardio or something different. I'm just man of action. I just used to do something physically. Because if you do nothing, if you just stay in home in front of the TV, I feel like a jellyfish. So I'm used to do every day something physical.
Okay. Krasi, you put WAF, you put WAL, you were part of the top 8. You put on the different conditions, under different rule set. What did you enjoy most of the time? Do you see any big difference or something that you like and you would prefer to see it often, like a rule set, like a table geometry, or?
I like all of them, but usually I prefer strict rules. I like strict rules, but I enjoyed all the organizations, and I would pull in every single one again.
Yeah,
it's very pity, and I totally don't like the situation now, how the world is divided, IFA and WAF. I would like everything to be together in one community and everyone to be able to pull everywhere.
Yeah, that's would be great if we if all of us forgot about the ego and focus on development, positivity, bring all together and work, that would be great. But let's see what happening. I see a positive trend, getting more and more people involved in arm wrestling, and that makes me happy. And if the new people have the ability to see you, to know more about you, to learn about your mistakes, I think it's a good thing. So after so many years of successful pulling, do you still getting nervous before a big competition? Is the excitement still there?
Yes, actually. Yes, the adrenaline is still running through my veins.
Do you perform better with when you're a little bit nervous, or you have some routine how to calm down and be focused?
I always do better when I'm under adrenaline. Always.
Under adrenaline.
Feel better and perform better when I'm under stress.
I can tell you a story.
That's why I'm not that good at the practice table. I'm better, much better at the competition.
Yeah, that's interesting. There are also a lot of successful sportlers who need the attention. For example, like now the COVID hit in, there were UFC events without audience, and many athletes have a problem performing without audience, without crowd of people who are screaming. They need this attention to bring the best from themselves out there. And I think you're one of these people. I can tell you a story. I think I remember the moment that I saw you. You were very young and you have to face Tsvetan Gashevsky. And Tsvetan Gashevsky is a legend, big name in our sport. And you, as a young guy, facing Tsvetan Gashevsky, and the most of the people who are facing Tsvetan, they're extremely intimidated that they're facing the legend and getting a little bit back. What did you do? You are so focused and you push it. You didn't get step back. You push it until you pin Gashevsky in this young age. And I saw that and I thought, okay, if this young guy is so his confidence is so big that he's stepping in and doesn't give a shit if that's Gashevsky or someone else, giving everything. This is a champion's. This is a champion's DNA for me. And do you remember this match? What I'm talking about?
I'm not sure for which one you're talking. Maybe in Romania, in Făgăraș.
It was early. Maybe it's around 2007. Someone there, or even before. Okay, still have some problem with the internet connection. Krasi, can you hear me?
Now I'm hearing you good, but you're frozen.
Yeah, you are also frozen.
Yeah, I hear you.
It seems that we have some connections issue. I guess, guys, Krasi is going to reconnect. Let's see which question we're gonna ask him. Great. You're back, Krasi. I hope you can hear me. Now I can hear you a little bit. I can see you also.
I'm here.
You're frozen. Now you're moving. Okay, sorry. So back to the match with Gashevsky. So you don't remember exactly, but never mind. You did it. You beat him,
Wait, I remember 2 matches with Gashevsky. One was 2007 in Romania, Făgăraș, when I beat him. I beat him and Stoyan Gulemanov for first time. And after that, maybe 2008 in Blagoevgrad. I don't know which you're talking about, which one. Maybe for that.
It's not so important. It is for a long time ago. I just wanted to give it as an example for someone who is going to win, and it's very important to win. Krasi, you're very interesting person also outside the arm wrestling. So tell me a little bit more about you. What does Krasi outside the arm wrestling? What are your hobbies? What do you like to enjoy to do outside the arm wrestling?
I'm just not sure if you hear me well, because I hear you, but the screen is freezing from time to time. Do you hear me good, or?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I wanted to say something about that Gashevsky thing that you said.
Okay.
After my first national championship, 2005 in Sofia, I just fell in love with the sport, and I said, one day I will be the best guy on the planet. Immediately after the first tournament, this is what I said to myself. One day I will be the best one in the world. So that's why Gashevsky, in my eyes, was just one of the steps that I needed to climb to get where I wanted, because he was world champion in 75 kilo class. So I knew that I needed to beat him if I want to be world champion in 90 kilo class. Gashevsky and after that Gulemanov. These were the names that I knew that I need to beat if I want to be the man under 90 kilo.
Yeah, I would love to have them also in the show. They are also great champions, and it was it is still is a great time to have these people around us and bringing the sport to pushing it to the next level. So Krasi, my next question is, what are your interests outside the arm wrestling?
I love playing table tennis. Maybe 10, 11 years ago, I had some argues with our president, and for a second I was thinking to leave the arm wrestling and start training professionally table tennis. There was a moment for me thinking this way. This is how much I like table tennis. I'm champion in my town of table tennis.
Your town has 7,000 people. It's not so small.
Yeah. It's like a big village, but anyway, I was pretty good in table tennis back then. And this is something that I still do from time to time. I play from time to time table tennis. When I was junior, I loved playing Counter-Strike, billiard.
Checking your YouTube channel, which you guys have to subscribe the YouTube channel from Krasi to see a lot of trainings, exercises, and very interesting stuff. Also, this channel, don't forget to subscribe. I think you could be a very good dancer.
Maybe. And something that I'm now doing actually from over 10 years already is reading. I love reading, and I read every day. Every month I'm reading 1-2 books. I'm reading 30-40 minutes a day, but almost
Tell me, I think it's gonna be stupid if I ask you for your favorite book, but I'm gonna ask you anyway, which is your favorite book, and can you recognize? Can you give me some books that I would like to read in the next time that you enjoyed last year or something?
I love all of the books of Dan Brown. I love all three books that philosophy books of Lucy, Anne, Seneca. Their own philosophy.
You're getting deep here with the philosophic books. Interesting.
Yeah. What else? There's one book written from Polish guy named Kovadis. This is a love story written. Love story during the Rome Empire. This is a great book according to me as well. And one more that I liked very much was Ember in the Ashes. It's called Въглен в пепелта. Tahir is the name of the author. And these are a few, but there are many good books that I have read. And right now also I'm reading very interesting book.
You Krasi, you are a professional athlete, and I think it's very important for professional athletes, not only the physical aspect, also the mental aspect to work not only your body, also your mind and everything. And I think you're doing a great job doing that. I'm gonna say some names. John Brzenk, Devon VS Valetin, Chafee, Prudnik, Ikvinia, Arsène Liliev. Maybe only Devon you didn't pull in official match, but the rest you pull these guys. Is there something that you remember from these matches, from the feeling? Is there something that shocks you from it's still here in your head after the time? Is something that you remember that you would like to
something interesting I can say about Devon was when I pulled him 2012, in the beginning of 2012. We pulled in Turkey on a practice table, and something that impressed me very much was that we were both pulling inside. It was good hook match, and I was trying to attack, and I was like taking my breath, preparing to attack. And when I was taking my breath to attack, and he was attacking before me, he was feeling when I'm breathing and preparing to attack, and he was attacking before that. This was something that impressed me very much. And back then I realized, okay, this is one of the three guys in my eyes that are the most technical guys in the world: Gashevsky, Larat, and Brzenk. For Brzenk, I can say something very unique that never happened with me, with somebody else, is 2012 when we pulled at Zloty. We were pulling inside, and from inside, he started to hit my wrist and top row me. And usually, when I'm inside and somebody tries to top row me, if I feel that my wrist is going back, it's very easy just to slip under him, just to let my wrist go and slip under. And I tried to do that with Brzenk, and he felt that moment and immediately pushed me here. He took my wrist and pushed over
pushed you down to the pad.
Yes. this is something that is extremely difficult to do, because it's very easy to slip from there. But he caught me for the wrist and fingers and didn't let me to slip. And with Gashevsky, I have put many times on training, and these are the guys that I can say the most technical guys in the world, the guys that feel the arm wrestling from here and here.
Gashevsky, I love this guy. I will make a huge poster of Gashevsky and I'm going to bring it into this white wall. He inspires me to every day for the arm wrestling, and arm wrestling is in his blood.
That's true. Is it working now?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Actually, now I changed my internet from Wi-Fi to mobile.
Yeah, it's much better.
I had to do it a long time ago. But I didn't know that the problem was from the internet, actually.
Yeah. Most of the time is the internet connection. So you having these great matches after the Liliev and Asen give you a credit for this amazing match. Yeah, the Liliev was carried youth. He was blasting the people and nobody were able to stop this move, but you was the guy who did it, and that's gonna be in the arm wrestling legacy history books forever. Do you follow the current situation? So East versus West 5 is incoming. Probably Devon is gonna pull Prudnik or not now, maybe in January. What is your opinion on this match?
Prudnik versus Devon. I believe if Devon is pulling over the table, I think that Prudnik will beat him. If they allow Devon to do that not nice move, then I believe Devon has chance. But over the table, conventional arm wrestling, in my eyes, Prudnik is the heavy favorite.
Heavy favorite.
Yeah, this is what I think.
Interesting. It's not secret you're not a fan of King's move. Are you able to make a King's move? Do you have a lock on your elbow?
Yes, elbow? I have lock. Yes, my arm is not able to stretch fully, but I don't do that.
Krasi, do you think if someone genetics preposition is not, for example, outside move, top row, do you think these people is able to develop a good top row training very, very regularly on a high level?
Yes.
Because I think you did that with your left hand.
Yes.
At the beginning.
Yes. And look at Arseny Liliev also. Arseny Liliev, his arm is not long. His fingers also were not long or big. He had normal hand and still was able to take everyone's wrist.
Is there names at the moment in your head that you would like to pull in the current stage of your form?
Yes, Todd Hutchins is the guy that I want to pull for a few years already. After the last time he beat me at Moldova.
Hey, Kevin, do you hear that? You know, Todd is coming here in the 3rd of December in Munich. Here, I have a guy. In Germany, unfortunately, we are not able to find someone who is strong enough to pull Todd. Here, I have a one. If you have interest,
he's going there.
You know my number. Just do it. Joke by the side, Todd is gonna be here in 3rd of December. We all love to see him here to give a seminar, maybe some matches, but why not? Everything is possible. unfortunately, your statistic against Todd is not so well.
Yes, he beat me 3 times. He beat me 2012 at the Vendetta in Bulgaria. After that, in Russia,
Moldova.
In Russia. He beat me
A1.
at A1. Yes, I was super tired that day, but still he beat me. And after it at Moldova, actually, I believe I pinned him. Just the referee was like, he was wondering if to stop the match or not. But 1 second later, he brought me back and beat me. But anyway, so the result is 3-0. He beat me at 3 competitions. And that's why I would love to pull him again. This is the guy that I want to pull most.
Probably Engin is gonna set up the match in the next. I would love to see it. I would love to see it again. This match. Your friend. Jesus, I forgot his name. Dancho, of course. Dancho pulled him, and I was. Unfortunately, he lost also from Todd.
Todd Hutchins beat all of us. Me, Dancho, and Sasha. He beat all of us.
We have to do something. Krasi, we have to do something.
Yeah, I agree on that.
And RVJ is also a natural athlete. And I also like his opinion for the sport. I think it's going to be also interesting to see him. He mentioned he would like to pull you. My personal opinion is RVJ.
RVJ. Yeah, okay.
My personal opinion is that you're going to be a little bit too much for him, but hey, everybody is allowed to have his opinion. But I would enjoy the match also.
I would pull him. I believe I would crush him, but I would pull him.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great match. Natural athletes against each other. Krasi, I have to ask this question. It's a tough time when you have a strike of losing matches. People start sending you strange messages. When you're on the top, everybody likes you, everybody loves you. When you have some losses and some down phase, then the people start questioning. And how do you handle this period of time?
Oh, if you just try to don't care about others' opinion, it's not so easy, but because there's so many keyboard warriors who are giving their best to ruin your day.
Yeah.
So you just try to ignore them. This is the truth. You just try to don't listen to them.
Yeah, unfortunately, the PEDs are part of the professional sport here in arm wrestling. I think there is no secret. You can see what's happening here in the professional stage. Were a moment in your career that you were frustrated and ask yourself, what could happen with me if I chose the dark side of the path?
2011, 2008 in Turkey, Krasimir beat me. I was training, and 3 years later, 2011, again in Turkey, Krasimir beat me again. And that was the moment where I was really asking myself if I should start using drugs, because I was training so much and this guy was coming and beating me very easy and convincingly. And everybody knew that he was using stuff. And that was the moment when my mind was shaking and I was thinking if I should start using. But I decided, okay, let's try one more time. And the next year I was able to beat him without drugs. So yeah, that was the moment when I was wondering if I should start using or not. But I overcome it, and it's good that I did this choice to stay clean.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. And the current stage of the number one overall, Levan Saviashvili, what do you think? You put these hyper strong people. You're probably the best guy who can give a proper opinion on who could have a shot against him and chance to do something.
Only the Russians, according to me. Vitaly, Silaev, and Zou. These are the names that should try. All the others already tried. The last guy who troubled Levan was Vitaly, so maybe Zou.
Maybe
Lately, Zou is the guy who beat everyone right arm, so maybe he should try.
I have one additional name in my mind. Maybe Georgi Tsvetkov, if he is healthy and make a proper preparation.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has the potential to. He did it. He did it on the WAF rules. You did it also on the WAF rules. You're the only two guys.
Right now, Tsvetkov just won the number one spot in the tested events. This is the truth. Mm-hmm. I tried to do this for a few years. I couldn't do it, but Tsvetkov did it actually. Mm-hmm. He just won the heavyweight with right arm in the tested event. I believe every event should be tested, even the pros. They should be tested. This is what I believe. I don't like the Monster League. Even the Monster League should be tested. This is my point of view.
I agree on you on your opinion, because that brings the monsters, and that gives a really wrong picture for the young people.
Yes.
And also, as it's not healthy, Jesus, if I see the people who like, I don't say the names, I don't like to get the hate now for the fans, but these people are not healthy. They can't continuing on this high level. Something wrong is gonna happen, and this is not the way to go. Look at the UFC, look at these other federations. Even they, at some stage, they get very straight with the doping. And I think if we want to continue our development, that's gonna came to us. And that we're gonna have also tested events in the professional super matches.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Krasi, man, thank you very much for your time. I don't want to bother you anymore. You have to work out, the evening workout.
No, actually today I will not work out, because now after the Worlds, about 10 days, maybe I will not train that hard. Just a mental break. I'm still training almost every day, but not with all that pressure behind. Just train as much as I want and as hard as I want.
Oh, great. Then I'm going to ask you about your prediction.
Okay.
East versus West 5.
Okay.
We have John Brzenk versus Petrenko. You first, and then I give my opinion.
That's a tough question.
For me, it's not tough. I go with the John. I go
55-45 to John. But very slight edge to him.
My arguments are Petrenko didn't compete for a long time. John has a series of 10 or 11 super matches last year. He's a running machine. and Petrenko is a little bit.
That's true. But Petrenko's wrist and fingers are extremely strong, and I don't know. I believe John has the edge, but just a little step in front of him, I would say.
Okay. We are both on the side of John for this one. Hermes versus Chafee.
I don't know. I would say Chafee, but also very close match.
Very close match, unpredictable. I'm gonna say Chafee because of the output from Chafee versus Vitali.
I believe even if Hermes takes his wrist, Chafee will be able to put too much side pressure and to be able to beat Hermes.
I believe this too. Yeah. Then one match which excites me a lot. I enjoy also not only the heavyweight classes. Mindaugas versus Bishop.
In my eyes, Mindaugas is the heavy favorite here.
Yeah, I think too. The right
If
hand of
it was left-handed, then Bishop is the favorite, but right-handed, Mindaugas.
Mindaugas. I'm also for Mindaugas. His right is really technical, strong. He had so great matches at the Worlds. He maybe by different draw he could easily be in the top 3 medalist. Correct. And last but not least, my favorite match: Ryan Bowen versus Zurab.
I don't see any chances actually here.
for Zurab.
I don't think that Ryan is in that league.
I like that Ryan is very honest about his preparation. He has a video talking openly what he is taking, what he is not taking, how is he feeling, how these supplements are working on him. He's full, his head is doubled, he's making gains, he's technical, but Zurab is the Georgian world champion who is also very strong at that moment, pushing, posting videos with biceps 100 kg. Who is making biceps 100 kg? Yeah, I think also that's gonna be a match for Zurab.
Yeah, Ryan is really very technical guy. He feels what he should do on the table, but just to win this match, you need strength, a lot of strength. I don't think that Ryan has that much.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, yeah. We will see. I'm very excited about this event.
If he beats Zurab, that would be jump from here to here, because a few months ago he lost from Ray.
Mm-hmm.
And no disrespect to Ray, but Ray just pulled worlds and couldn't take medal. And Zurab has always been in the medals at 85, and now Zurab is 100. And if Ryan is able to jump from here to here, then heads off, nothing more.
Nobody's gonna make jokes about Ryan. Yeah. Is there something that you would like to say to the new people joining the sport every day? We have a positive trend, having more and more people, channels like the channel from Wari Wheels, Devon, Juji. They are bringing a lot of attention. For so many years, I was almost alone here in Munich, working with 2 or 3 guys. Now we are getting requests every week for new people joining our clubs. These new people, would you like to have a message for them?
I don't know. If they love arm wrestling, they will find a way to get stronger. This is, if you have a wish, there is a way. So if there is a wish, there is a way.
Krasi, thank you very much for this interview. You're a great guy. I'm really happy to know you, and I would love to see you again, maybe in the European Championship, maybe earlier here in Germany, maybe in East versus West. We never know. The world is not so big, and we're gonna meet us. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
It was nice talking to you, Mitko.
Great.